Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmine Danielle, and today, as you saw by the title, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite books that helped me during my spiritual awakening or finding myself, whatever you want to call it. But these books helped me determine my purpose and help me learn how to walk in my purpose. Now, one thing that I do want to say is, although these books are very inspirational, it's very good to have an open mind when you are finding yourself, because you're finding yourself, you really don't know who you are. So I had a hard time reading a lot of these books, but in the end, they helped me a lot. They were very inspirational to my journey. And I do want to say that these books are not facts. You make your facts. So take what you want and add what you want to add to it. So for me, I took bits and pieces and I just formulated what I believed in and what I wanted to be. But these are just some books that I found to be very inspirational during my journey, and I hope you guys find them inspirational as well. So let's get to it. The first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the book that opened my eyes to a lot of things. I was gifted this book as a trunk gift when I graduated high school. I was on my way to college and I love to read. So I read it and I did not understand it. It didn't speak to me. I thought it was weird. Like, it went against everything that I believed in or was taught to believe in. But as I went through my journey, I came back to this book and it opened my eyes to a lot of different things. The biggest thing about it is during my journey, I realized that I've been doing this all along. Like, I've always been doing it. And it is The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. It basically just works with the law of attraction and how when you put out good things into the universe or into the world that you receive them back tenfold. And I never realized that that's what I've been doing my whole life. I had been practicing that principle. So years later, when I read this book, it spoke to me at many different levels. So sometimes you're not always ready to receive the message. And how was I, like 18? I really wasn't ready for that message. So I wasn't able to receive it. But I have been living by that principle all along. So I do actually have my copy, but let me tell y'all, it's in our storage unit. And I'll go out there. I don't know what kind of critters is in there, so I didn't want to look for it. But I'm sure y'all know about The Secret. Y'all know all about it. But there is also a documentary on Netflix. So another book that I really enjoyed was The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer. And this book was really good. It does speak a lot about, I won't say necessarily religion, but it does talk about God. And this is the first book that really just opened up my eyes to me wanting a deeper relationship with him. And it kind of connected me with myself. So it helps with my purpose, but it helps with me to learn more about me. And in order to do that, after I read this, I was like, I need to know more about him in order to know more about me. So that's what I got from it. It's labeled as a self-help transformation book. And that is so true, because you will be transformed. If you're not transformed, you're not necessarily ready for it. So hold off on it and read it again at a different time. But this really did open my eyes to a lot of things. This is the one book that as I was reading it, I was like, I see what I've been doing wrong. And for me, what I got from it is that I just needed a deeper relationship with God. So I don't know. You get different things. We're different people, different journeys. So read it and see what you get. But The Untethered Soul, I love it. I'm actually planning on reading it again because I read this book back in 2015 or 2016. It's 2020. It's almost 4 or 5 years ago. I might get something different from it. So I'm gonna read it again. Maybe we can read it together. Let's start a book club. Another great book is Spirit, Soul, Embody by Andrew Wommack. I actually just gifted that to my mother. So once she reads it, I want to see what her take on it was. But it's just helping you connect with your spirit, your soul, and your body. It's another transformation type book, very inspirational. And it teaches you a lot about yourself, and not only just yourself, but it kind of makes you realize where your place is relating to self, being able to connect. Because it was a lot of disconnect that I had even within myself. So reading that, get you together, ain't no more disconnect. We all together here. And so that's also another great book for you guys to check out. You can buy it off of Amazon. All these books you can get off of Amazon. I know I ordered the Untethered Soul from Amazon. I normally get my books from like Amazon or Barnes and Noble, but everything I'm listing you can find from Amazon. So this is another book that I read that kind of gave me the oomph that I needed to go off and pursue my dreams of being a business owner. I love the way that this author wrote this book because it's very in your face. It's not a lot of read between the lines. And I love that because I'm very upfront and very, you know, I don't sugarcoat nothing. So I don't want you to sugarcoat it with me. The book is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. That gave me like the sense of, you know what? I am a badass. I can do this. It's very inspirational in the fact to where it's helping you go after what you want, but you're also learning about the different struggles that we all face. Because sometimes when we go through things, we think it's only us, when in actuality, it's everybody. We all go through the same things. So I'm very big on hearing other people's stories and just knowing that I'm not alone and that you were once in my place, because hell, I don't know everything. Even in these videos, I don't know everything. I would never say that I do, but what I do know is tried and true. And that's why I can tell you and give you different processes and different methods. It's just my story. It's what works for me. And that's what I get from You Are a Badass. The next one is Girlboss by Sophia Amoruso. I think that's how you say it. This is actually the owner. I want to say she owns Nasty Gal. This is kind of like You Are a Badass, but we get to see how she built her brand, what she had to do, what she had to overcome. And she's a girl boss. And that's what I wanted to be. So it helps me a lot. And it can help you too. And not necessarily if you just want a business, but just overcoming everything in life. It's an obstacle to everything. It's an obstacle to motherhood. It's an obstacle to going to school. Like, it can help you at anywhere. So you have to kind of meet the book where you are. So it makes sense and it works for you. So when I was wanting to start my business, the first book that I read was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now let me tell you, I had a business back in 2017 that I started. I kiki because it was terrible. I wasn't ready. And at the time, I wasn't as spiritually aligned as I needed to be. I read this book. I got halfway through and was like, this is garbage. It didn't speak to me because just like The Secret, I wasn't ready to receive that blessing, that gift that was in this book. So I went back a few years later and I absolutely love it. It teaches you, it basically walks you through all of like the big well-known businesses and how they got to where they were. So I did have to kind of tweak it to apply it to modern day, but the message still stands. But it tells you that its story is about Andrew Carnegie, Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, and other millionaires, how they obtained their wealth and how they maintain their wealth. So this is a good book as well if you are wanting to go into business, or you need help with your business, or you just want a good read. Very inspirational for that. I'm all about teachings. This is kind of what I want to do on my YouTube, is teach you how I obtain the things that I have in life, or how I became spiritually aligned, how I stay positive, different things like that. So this book, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra, this artist is amazing. Not artist, this author is amazing. But this book helps me so much with, I would say, connecting to my business. Think and Grow Rich was good, but I wasn't really able to connect or have like a passion, if that makes sense. This kind of opened my eyes to that a little bit. At least that's what I got from it. I don't know if that was the meaning of it, but that's what I got from it. And this is just really good. I would say it doesn't necessarily have to be for a business. It says for success. If you want a successful relationship, successful shit, whatever you want, read this book. it doesn't have to be for business. It says that it's a practical guide to fulfill your dreams. So this can help with anything. Anything that you want to do. Here's 7 steps for you to be successful in that. So I absolutely love this book out of all of them. And it's kind of a short read. But I want to read it again. I'm actually going to read it while I'm here on quarantine and just see what I can pull differently from it a couple years later. So this is a good book. Another great book that I absolutely love, and this is the book that didn't make me feel so bad about my thought process and how I see big picture and I want greatness, and you know, it just kind of made me feel good. But it's The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. That book is awesome. I have only read it once, and I want to read it again to see, you know, what different things that I can pull from it. But it kind of gave me like an inside look at my thinking and the magic or the power that's behind the way that I think. It kind of just made sense to me that the reason why I think the way that I do and what I can obtain, and just, it made me understand my brain a little bit more and the magic or the power that I have behind all of these ideas and all these endeavors that I want to do. And it ultimately kind of gave me a push, because at one point I thought, you know, listening to other people, that I was doing too much, or, you know, I'm always trying to do something, you know what people say. But this book was just like, stay the course, girl. This is what's going on. So that's a good read as well. I think it's helpful with life, but also with business. I kind of incorporated it everywhere, but it's still a good read. So my next book is The 4 Agreements by Miguel, Ruiz. And I read this book once a couple years ago. I haven't read it since, but those principles I see in my life. And I'm pretty sure that if I go back to it, I'll be able to know this is what he was talking about, and this is what he was talking about, and this is what that meant. But I just haven't been able to go back and read as well. All of these are great books, very inspirational books. Like I said, take from them what you can, apply them to your life. You're not going to agree with everything, and that's okay. I didn't agree with everything. I still don't agree with everything, but I know that these principles really helped me get to where I am today. So the next books that I'm going to read, there's the book by Iyanla Vanzant, and it's more like a daily. I can't think of the name of it. I'll think of it and I'll put it down in the description box. If you guys know what I'm talking about and you read it, or if you read any Iyanla book, let me know down below. But I think that will help me. I love daily things like the Jesus Calling book. I have that. I love devotionals or like daily reads. So that Iyanla book might help with that. And Mel Robbins has the 5-second rule. I want to read that. So if you read that, let me know what you think. Joel Osteen's Next Level Thinking. That's on my list. I want to read that. I love Joel. I used to listen to Joel every morning on my way to work. He was like that energy that I needed to get me through the day. So I think I'll enjoy his book as well. So it has the book I Declare. So I'm going to be reading that next. So those are like the next 3 books that I'm going to focus on these next couple of months. And then I'm going to reread 7 Spiritual Laws of Success, see what I can get from that. And then I already started, but I'm going to finish again, Think and Grow Rich, for the 3rd time. But okay, so that's it for my video. Those are the books that I found very inspirational during my journey. If you have any questions about them, leave them down below or hit me up on Instagram, email, whatever. If you have any books that you want to recommend to the audience or recommend to me, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll check them out. I hope you guys check out these books. And if you do, or if you've read them before, leave a comment. Let's chat about it. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.